you doing, folks? Just another video on the VW California accessories sort of series that I'm doing at the moment. So I've done one already, and it was on the, what was it on? It was on the Dynaudio sound system. So this is a follow-up one, and I outlined in that video the various accessories that I'm going to cover off, over time. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to do a video on the LED lights that I got for the van. So just to, first things first, they cost me, rounding them up, they cost me about €1,900, which is an expensive optional extra considering I could have just gone with basic regular halogen lights, halogen lights, I'm assuming. So, but I'm a bit of a technophile. I do love my technology, and I have an interest in these kind of things. And I know that lights have gone from halogen to say xenon to into LED now. And I would say LED, in my view, is probably the pinnacle. I can't see a new set of lights coming down the road that would supersede LED. Maybe, but I couldn't envisage something. So that meant to me that the LED lights are probably going to be something of, they'll probably become standard in the future. So that means if I ever did go to sell the van, at least then I'd have LED lights. And I also had done a bit of research on them in that they seem to be a better option. A few people in various forums have complained about the halogen lights being, not the best light that you can. They don't throw out enough light, and people would be complaining about it. And again, it just sort of fitted in that because I was spending quite a bit of money on the van, I wanted to look its best, so I didn't mind this time round buying the best kind of lights that I had. So I did that, went out and bought them. And what I've done is earlier this evening, I've taken some footage, some close-ups of the LED lights, just to show you what they look like up close and so on. And what I would say is, even just looking at them while I was making the videos, they are a thing of beauty, I have to say. The design of them is very unusual and quite a thing of beauty, I have to say. They really are. They're very beautiful. When you look at bog standard basic lights, these are very interesting up close. There's kind of a lot going on inside the light. Saying that, I suppose people are kind of wondering, you've spent €1,900 on lights, are they any good? And what I would say is, yes, they are. They're very good. They throw off a massive amount of light. And what I find is that the light's very sharp, in that when you're driving along, you can see that the light, when it's being thrown out from the lens, it doesn't bleed away into the distance. It doesn't kind of like be bright and then slowly but surely. There's a definite line of where the light is. And they do, if you're driving down country roads and so on, they throw off an absolutely massive amount of light. So much so that the issue, and the probably only drawback that I get with them, because the height of the van and the lights being so bright, we tend to get flashed a lot. So we have people coming along, putting on their high beams because they think we've just not bothered turning off our high beams. And that's not the case at all. I'd be very conscious of not doing that to people. But we do get a lot of people kind of flashing us and saying your lights are too bright and turn them down and so on. And from time to time, I would have to probably flash them back to show that the lights are, dimmed. So I'll flash them back, but it's not great, and it's very irritating. And I wish VW could come up with some kind of solution to help me with these. I actually mentioned it when we first got the van. Was there something wrong with the lights? And they said no, they're just very bright, and people just have to get used to them. A bit like this LED light that I have on me here right now. So yes, I would definitely recommend them. They throw off a huge amount of light, but I am very conscious of when I'm driving around country roads, which we tend to do a lot of in this. They are very bright, and they do tend to blind people, which is unfortunate. So they are beautiful. They're they really set off the look of the van, and they're very interesting, and they're also self-leveling. So the way you have that roller switch in your, depending on the load in your car, you adjust where the light is. This does it himself. So when you start up the engine, you'll see the light will self-level itself, and we'll see it as well when we're driving around. If you're driving over humpback bridges and things like that, you'll see the light will come down itself. So I suppose that's a handy thing. It also has that if we go onto the continent, so we hope to be going on a trip to Germany this summer, and you can basically, at the flick of a switch, you make the lights point the other way in that they become suitable for continental driving, and then when you get back you switch them. So that's obviously fairly handy. I don't have to go sticking stickers on the lenses or anything like that, which is fairly handy. So overall, I think, you know, they are expensive and, you know, aesthetically very pleasing, very good, throw out a lot of light, and I would say future proofed as well. So I would recommend them. I'm just going to read through what they have here. They have easy to install. Okay, fair enough. They come in the van, easy to maintain. And I think the main thing here is that the life of LED bulbs. So typically LED bulbs will last 50,000 hours. So that's like 20 years or something like that. Normal bulbs, according to this guy here, last about 5,000 hours. And that was part of the thing as well in my thinking, because what I wanted to do was have the van, if I could have as many fault creating issues, so I didn't want to be in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden a bulb go. That's part of the reason I got the 4-wheel drive as well, to kind of belt and braces the van. So that I do find that, and the fact that they're going to last so long is a good thing. The downside is obviously at some stage when they do go, I'll have to replace them, and they're quite expensive to replace. No need to replace the bulbs. Okay, fair enough. So they last a long time. They're more efficient. Yeah, so they burn 80% less energy. And I suppose the implications there is that, you know, you burn less fuel and you can leave them on longer and so on, and there's less issues there, less demand on the battery, and they won't run down the battery. Cheaper to operate. Okay, fair enough, that's the same thing. And the quality, the build quality is excellent. So what they're saying here basically is that because obviously because they're complicated to make, the build quality has to be higher than probably regular lights. Okay, fair enough. Safer to use. Okay, so the point here they're saying safer to use is that obviously they throw off more light. So in that means then in dark roads you can see more. And I really, it is quite amazing that when you are driving down dark roads and you do put on the high beams, you know, it is, when we were buying them from VW, the guy described it as, you know, you're driving around in daylight. Now they are daylight, the colour is daylight, to be fair, but you know, they're not that bright, but they are very bright. Okay, so better lighting quality, and as I said, okay, so it's clear and more piercing, and they use less fuel because obviously they're more efficient. And they're the main reasons. And I'd have to say I do agree with all those things. So what I'll do is, well, I have planned to, during while I'm putting this video together, I will interspace my yakking with images of the lights and stuff, hopefully, and you'll get to see the benefits of the LED lights. I use a forum, a VW California forum, and it's very interesting. And I do hear people who buy new vans, one of the comments they do is they're surprised at how poor the halogen lights are. Now again, my van only ever had LED lights, so I don't know. You know, I can't compare it to anything else, but I'm just saying that they are very good. And but I do hear people complaining about them. The main thing is that are they worth 2,000 euro? Do you know, I thought about it the other day. They are, because I bought them, and you know, if I could get them for cheaper, excellent, that'd be fantastic. But you know, I bought them, so at the time I decided that they were worth the 2,000 euro. That's it. So look, thanks for watching, and thanks for you know, the comments are coming in. We're above the 100 subscribers now, and the comments are coming in, and they're really positive. So again, thanks very much to everyone who subscribes, and I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you. Actually, before I forget, there's one last thing I wanted to show you. So I have this light here, and this is what it is it's a power tank. I'm a bit of a nerd, believe it or not. I have a telescope, and this is the power. So it's like a portable battery kind of idea. But what it has is it has an LED light and it has a halogen light. And I just thought if I showed you, I'll just show you the difference. So you see here now, I'll put on the, hang on. Okay, right now. I'll turn that off, and I will turn this off. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you this is the halogen, or the, you know, standard bulb. So there you go. So you can see the standard bulb, and that's probably blinding everybody. Apologies for that. But you can see the light is quite yellow, and it's obviously a filament, and the filament is sensitive to vibration and banging, and it'll eventually burn out. Okay, so it's a standard bulb. whereas this is the LED light. So you can see the LED light is obviously a light emitting diode. It's a much whiter light, and that's the same thing with the California, that the light is much whiter. Now there's obviously a lot more little individual bulbs in here as well, so I suppose if one goes, the others will stay on. So that just to show you the difference at LED light emitting diode versus a regular bulb. So most people probably get that, but I just thought that this would be a nice little demonstration, is to explain to you, you know, what the difference with the bulbs are. I don't know, I mean, I have to see how this looks when I do it. It could be really weird.